Okay, so I was really debating on a call on whether I wanted to talk about how to deal with people or steps of more of the process of inviting and ways that you can help. And I thought that dealing with people would be a great way because we deal with people. So I decided to call this Build, Care, and Grow. Because once you guys understand that what we do, if you believe in what we do, then you're going to have no problem talking to anyone. You're going to have no problem putting this opportunity out for coaching or for the products because you're going to hear people's problems. You're going to hear people say, hey, this is what they want, this is what they need, and you're selling them on what they want. Plus, not to mention, I know that I mentioned it in the call yesterday that, this can potentially change someone's lives, whether or not we've completely gotten where we wanted to, but you never know where this will go for someone. It's a gift of what a challenge pack could do for someone or what this business opportunity could do for someone, bringing someone home from wanting to be at home with their kids, or a challenge pack could completely change someone's life, possibly save their life. So it's all about building relationships. So that's what we're going to talk about, building relationships, all about people. So guess what? Our product, yeah, we have Insanity, we have P90X, we have Shakeology, we have all that wonderful stuff. It's Beachbody, but our product is not our product. Our product is people. Yes, we are in a sales job, if you want to call it that, but it's not about selling the product. It is about you selling yourself to people and you listening and understanding and using every aspect that is in this amazing book called How to Win Friends and Influence People and Personal Development that will help you grow into finding those cues, listening to what people want. And like I said, they're going to sell themselves to you. That's what they do because you're going to figure out what they want and what they need and give it to them. So, people that don't like you, there's no reward for people loving you. I mean, yes, if you're lovable and people are friends with you and they're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. You connect with someone on that level. We find that connection and everything. That's great. But the real reward is if you can work with people that maybe don't really like you, or they don't really share the same values as you do, but you can work with them. That is something that is huge, that if people can master that, then you can work with anyone, right? So I know that we always talk about, hey, find connections and everything. But when you create that following or you have your lifer, as Chalene Johnson talks about it, you're going to be able to communicate with people that aren't on the same level as your values, but you're going to respect them and they're going to respect you. When you can do that, you can do anything. So, this is not about you. This isn't about you selling a challenge pack. This isn't about you bringing on a coach. This is not about you. This is not for you being in yourself. Do we need to have selfish goals? Yes. And what I mean by that is that we have our dreams. We have dreams of building our freedom. We have dreams of getting out of debt. We have dreams of being at home with our kids or bringing our spouse home. We all have dreams that we need to hold on to, and we need to remember why we are doing this. But when you are focused on people and you are focused on the other person and you are focused on what they want and what they need and solving their problems, then that in helping them is going to help you. But initially, when you are building relationships, it is not about you. You don't want to overload them with stuff that you want. And I can completely relate to this, because when we first started as coaches, we didn't have, I mean, all the training videos, we didn't have all that stuff that we do have now. And so when I first started as a coach, you know, I did Insanity. So everyone that was coming up to me, I mean, I lost 50 pounds in 2 rounds. And they're like, "Hey, should I start Insanity?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, "Do it." I'm like, "It's awesome. It's great." I mean, I can't believe it. I was doing exactly what I should not have done. I was promoting Insanity because I did it. I loved it. I thought everyone should try it out. I thought it was the most amazing product that Beachbody had, other than Shakeology. But that's what I was selling them on. I was pushing that off to them. When in reality, I didn't listen to, hey, you know, I probably can't jump around or anything. But since I knew that I did it, I mean, I couldn't jump. I didn't jump my whole first round. I'm like, anyone can do it. And truthfully, we know that yes, anyone can do any of the products that Beachbody has to offer. It's all about modification. But there's a difference between getting it and doing it. Then those who get Insanity that I pushed onto them might not be very motivated by Shanti. If they're not, that's crazy, because Shanti is amazing. But they might not be able to keep up with it. And some people that can't keep up with it, they don't want to do it. It's not fun to them, right? I was on a mentality of, if I can't walk to my living room and I'm hurting this bad, it's got to be working. So I got to keep going. That was my mentality. So, as well as, you know, Turbo Fire, it's so much fun. A lot of us love to have that fun workout, but what we consider as fun is not the same as what someone else consider as fun. So we can't think about what we did. We always have to figure out what they want. You know, there was a story that Danny Johnson was talking about in her video, and she said, you know, this woman came in to get a cell phone for her husband, and she had a specific cell phone in mind. What does the salesman do? Hey, okay, yeah, this has this feature, you can text here, this has a stylus here, you can do all this, and then you have all these apps and everything else, and was going on about this product. But what happened was it confused her, because all he was doing was talking about this product and not really figuring out, you know, she came in and she said, "I'm thinking about buying this cell phone for my husband." So what did she do? She left the store and said, "I need to think about it," because he overwhelmed her with all of the, yeah, da 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 da. And she was like, "What if you would have came into the store and I was there and you said, 'Hey, I'm going to buy, or I'm looking at buying this cell phone for my husband.' And you believe that that product is an amazing product. You know that this product would, you know, work great for what it is." She's like, "What if I would say, 'Wow, if my husband would buy me that product,'" well, of course, we're going to say that this was a guy. So if my wife would buy me that cell phone, I'd be the luckiest man alive. And the girl was like, huh, sold, you know, because that's why she was in there, to buy that cell phone. Okay, off the subject. Now, being loyal to people. We need to be loyal to people, and people will be loyal to us. They are not, yes, we have those Beachbody fanatics that are loyal to the products, but in all reality, if someone doesn't really like you, or you offend them, or say something, you know, you're just unsure, do you think that they're going to come back? You know, you never know. So you need to be loyal in building that relationship with people, because ultimately this is why we're here. We're here to help people. We're here to build relationships with people and solve their problems. All right. I'm gonna find, if I can, if someone is on. Sorry, I'm just gonna try to mute someone. Okay. Next. So it's the hard truth. It's the hard fact. Like, when we want to excel in this business or excel in life, we need to understand that people is where it's at. And sometimes it's hard because you're going to get people that have, you know, they're haters on you, or they say something that you're just like, I have this girl in my motivational group who I talked about Shakeology. She was asking about it versus whey protein. I had someone else come in completely saying, I was on Shakeology and I didn't see the benefit of it and all this other stuff. And, I take whey protein because of this and this and this. And I'm like, well, tell me what you mean about it. And then she got, what else can I say? I just completely said it straight out. So if you don't understand this, and this in this news feed, I didn't delete it. I could have deleted it. I could have took her out. And instead, the way that I responded to it was, well, I wasn't sure what you meant. She explained it a little bit more, and I was like, I wasn't sure what you meant about that. And I was like, I'm sorry that you haven't seen the benefits in it, but for me, I don't know about you, but this is what I feel. This is how, I've been on it for 3.5 years. Now, this girl could also, because she talked about how she lost weight and this and that, the girl that was asking about it could look at my profile and could look at this other girl's profile and see, she'll understand. So I'm not going to delete the comment, though. I'm not going to boot her out of the motivational group, because I believe in what I do, and I believe in our products, and I believe that when we learn how to respond to people, like, she's going to be like, wow, I didn't think she'd respond that way. So it's all about people. So master people. Don't criticize or condemn them or complain. Now, these tips that you're going to see right now are coming from How to Win Friends and Influence People. I don't have all of them, but I do have some of them, and I want to talk about them a little bit. So instead of condemning people, why not try to understand them? Like, figure out why they do what they do, That's a lot more profitable and intriguing than criticizing them. And it's so easy to complain about something. You see it all the time, oh my gosh, you didn't put on your blinker, right? So instead of that, I know that there's times that I didn't put on my blinker, or I was in a hurry and I was tailgating someone, and I'm not a sapphire by any means, because we don't do that. Or I have someone tailgating me and I slow down. So don't criticize people. Always try to figure out why they do what they do. And to know all is to forgive all. So, as Dr. Johnson said, God himself, sir, does not propose to judge man until the day of his days. So why should you and I? Don't criticize people. Just try to understand. Give honest and sincere appreciation. All of us. Who does not love to receive appreciation? So when someone is coming to you, and of course it has to be honest, be honest. If someone is coming to you and they're telling you about something, you're listening to them, give them appreciation for what they're doing. I have people tell me, like, they're like, I had a bad past and everything, and I'm like, well, tell me about it. What do you mean? If you're comfortable with it, I'm more than happy to listen. And they went on to talk about their past, and I'm like, yeah, but look where you are right now. Look where you are right now. I know that I've done plenty of stuff in the past. I'm so glad that we didn't have, like, cell phone cameras and I decided to videotape everything that we did, because I don't know where I'd be at by then. So, give honest and sincere appreciation. When you are conversating with people on Facebook and you see something that really sparks your interest, and it's one of your, one of your challengers or one of your coaches, show your appreciation for something that they did. um, Giving honest and sincere appreciation, be hearty and lavish in your praise, because people will cherish your words and treasure them and repeat them over a lifetime, repeat them over years, and your words are going to mean so much more than you giving a gift to someone. It's going to be way much more appreciative than you sending them energy and endurance or something. So remember that. So arouse in the other person's an eager want. What do I mean by that? Okay, Lindsay talked about this yesterday about baiting the hook, right? So what she means by that is, if someone is coming to you about, hey, I really need help, I want to lose weight, I am struggling with food, you're going to ask questions that arouse in what they want. Or if you hear someone talking about, man, I just lost my job, I'm looking for a job. What do? I talk to them about what their interests are. I talk about what their hobbies are. I'm like, what would you love to do? And if they're talking about, oh, I like to work with children and everything. I'm like, oh, so you love helping people. You love children. You love helping people. You're going to arouse in what they want. It's not about what you want. Again, it's not about what you like. It's about what they want. You're not going to throw a piece of cheesecake on a hook and expect to get a fish. So what I recommend that you do is you ask those questions to engage and figure out what they are wanting. And when you find out their problems, there's no way that you can't solve them. So again, ask questions. He who does the asking controls the conversation and wins. I am so guilty of this at times. I really, really try to think of duct tape is what Danny Johnson talks about. But there are a lot of times that I'm like, my sapphire comes out. I love to talk. I love to talk. If you don't know that by my videos already. So I have to remember, I ask the questions and I listen. I listen to them. You do not want them to start asking you questions. You want to be the one that's asking the questions, and you want to listen, because when you are asking them questions and really listening, you're in control of the conversation. Once you have them, like when you get into the forming and you talk about occupation, they're like, oh, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a Beachbody coach. So how long have you been in your business for? And they'll go on and they're like, well, how about you? I mean, I always revert to a question. I try to keep it minimal, and then I take note of what they are saying. All right. So, developing trust. This is what we need to do. Danny Johnson talks about developing trust and building on looking for their sign. So what does sign mean? I do know that Jackie posted this out, and I was like, ha ha ha, I know where she got this from. And she got it from Danny Johnson. So what does sign mean? Sign means looking for their strength, figuring out what their strengths are, what are their strengths? Look for it. Look for their strengths. Their interests. What are they interested in? Goals. What are their goals? And what are their needs? When you can focus on their sign, their strengths, their interests, and their goals and their needs, Then you can figure out how you can lead them, because it's all about them. It's all about what their sign is, about what their strengths are, their interests are, their goals are, their needs. So, become genuinely interested in other people. This one is kind of funny because I really had to be like, becoming generally interested in other people. I mean, I like talking to people and everything, but again, if someone comes to you and they start talking about, let's say you're prospecting out to, you're a female and you're prospecting out to a guy, and they start talking about hunting or golfing, and you're not really interested in that stuff. Do you try to revert the conversation around something else, or will you initially listen because they're fully interested in this? That is where I honestly think, like, you can build a relationship, whether you will find something that you have in common with someone if you just ask those questions and you figure it out. I know that we talk about our niche, and I know that we talk about your brand. And yes, we will attract people that buy our brand and buy our niche. But if you can master people and you focus your personal development on how to deal with people, how to win friends and influence people, when you can master people, you can talk to anybody, no problem, because if you can stay generally interested in other people and what they like and what they want and their needs and their goals, you're going to build that relationship and you're going to build that trust. And then when the time comes, or when there's something that they're like, hey, and you hear that cue, you can ask. Not only that, though, let's say they're not interested in your challenge group. Does that mean that you can't ask for referrals? They might know somebody that needs help. So just be interested in them. So next part, smile. This is a whole, Deanie Johnson had a whole thing on smile, and I know that she's read How to Win Friends and Influence People. And when you can smile at someone, even if you're on the phone, if you remember, smile, 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 it creates such a huge difference in how you speak, and people can just tell. Like, have you ever had a phone call where someone's like, I'm here to call you, or you can completely tell, like, dude, they are so not happy at doing what they're doing. Or when you call your family member and they're just like, hey, how's it going? You can tell when people are not happy. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you're getting on the phone, smile. I did this test here. There was a little side note in the book of going around and smiling and seeing how many people actually smile at you. So what I did, though, was I decided to go into a grocery store. Well, I was going there anyways, but I wanted to see if I brought eye contact to people, would they smile at me? Out of 20 people, and this was without me smiling first, how many people would smile at me by looking at them in their eyes? Out of 20 people, one person smiled at me. Do you know how much a smile can create to someone else? I know that we can't really do this on Facebook, but this is such a huge thing that you can do when you are one-on-one with people, on Zoom calls, or even during your videos and everything. I know that I'll sit there and smile, and then sometimes I'll get really serious and I'm like, oh, just smile, but I'm really into it, so I don't remember. But one person. Now, if you could walk around and just smile at people, and how many people that you might be able to uplift, wouldn't that just feel great? Okay. Learn a person's name. How to Win Friends and Influence People talks about um, how a person's name is the most important sound and sweetest thing ever. And I am so horrible at remembering this. What I started doing though was I started going to when I was going to the grocery stores and they have their name tags, or the bank and they have their name tags, any place that has their name tags, I really pay attention to their names and I'll speak their names. So with that, like what I've noticed is that, especially places that I go to all the time, I you notice a big difference there. But if you can remember someone's name and you're like, hey, Johnny, how's it going? It is literally an important aspect of this business. So I always have to, for me, I have to write down. When we went to Utah, I was like, oh, I kept asking names and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm bad with this, but I'm going to keep asking and I'm going to keep remembering. And now I wrote down little notes of their goals and everything when they were talking. And that was a way that I was able to put their face and their name and their goals all together. So know a person's name, start to know their name. I have been using their names in our conversations in Facebook. That has created, when you're like, hey, Tom, how's it going or whatever, and you're going on the conversation and they're like, yeah, I have 2 kids and everything. Wow, that's amazing, Tom. Like, keep using their name because it makes it personal. It's not like, it doesn't seem like it's coming from a script. Throw their name in there. Throw their name. Okay. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. This kind of goes hand in hand with the asking questions and everything. When to be interesting, or you don't want to come off to try to be interesting. You want to be interested. Ask questions that other people will enjoy answering. Encourage them to talk about themselves and about their accomplishments. I don't know about you, but what I do know is that I don't have very much adult one-on-ones except through my Facebook. And I think maybe this is why I also love this job, is because I love people. And Zoom calls, or when I'm out, I really engage in talking to people and listening to them. But when someone talks to me and they're trying to help me out, I tend to find someone that will listen to me too, because who doesn't want to talk to someone? Who does not? How many people have problems that need to be solved, or something that they just need to get off their chest and they don't have anyone to talk to, or maybe they can't talk to a person. This is where that developing that trust and listening to what they have to say and encourage them, ask those questions. And then, if you encourage them to talk about themselves and their accomplishments, they're going to be like, wow, this person cares about who I am. And you should care about who they are as a person. Remember that the people you are talking to are 100 times more interested in themselves and their wants and their problems than they are in you and your problems. That's where it's not about you. This is about other people. And when you can master that, that's where this whole growth can happen. Talk in terms of the other person's interest. I think I kind of hit that a little bit before. Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. So about that, do it sincerely. Talk to people about themselves. Listen to them. And the number one thing they said in this book is that people want to feel important, and a lot of us don't. We just don't. We don't get appreciated for what we do. Does someone give you as much appreciation in your home for cooking, for cleaning, for, taking out the garbage? Those little things. Could you imagine what kind of a house you can bring if you start giving your kids or your spouse or your friends and family, making them feel important for those little things that they do, it can create such a huge different atmosphere. So when you're talking to someone and you're building that relationship, if it's something even just so small, or you see you're going on their page and you find something that just wows you, again, make them feel important. We want to be appreciated. We want to feel important. We want people to listen to us. How many of you guys are like, I want to too, right? Could you imagine if someone took all of this on you and took all these developments into you and building that relationship? So, listening is being able to listen to someone even if you're not interested in what they are saying. Ouch, right? Again, that brings up that whole hunting and everything. If you can listen, you're a good listener when you can listen to them talk about something that you're not fully interested in, but yet you're listening to them because you care for them and you're interested in them and what they do and what they want, and that's where relationships build and grow. Don't interrupt, listen, ask more questions, and if you are face to face or on a Zoom call or whatever, keep eye contact with them. So, win people with your way of thinking. I'm going to try to get through these as fast as I can because we got about 3 minutes here. Of course, I like to talk. So, the only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. As much as that sucks, you're not going to win even if you try to win an argument. If someone's telling you, like I said, Shakeology, well, it's, whatever, or insanity, they're talking about it and they're telling you whatever you want to say about it. Even if you know that Shakeology is the best thing on the planet and they want to tell you no, by trying to prove that to them and even showing them, hey, let's say you pull out the ingredients, you pull out whatever. I don't care if you're talking about a birthday, like what your birthday is. If you know that you're 100% correct, don't argue with them. Don't try to prove it, because even if you show them that they're wrong, do you really think that they are going to be like, yay? No, they're going to forget you. Okay, whatever, you're right. No, avoid the argument. Show respect for other person's opinion. Never say that they're wrong. Just what you can say is, what I've used is, I'm wrong a lot, so I may not be right, but if I remember, or maybe I want to research this or look this up. If you're wrong, admit it quickly. Begin in a friendly way. Compliment people. When you are in a conversation on Facebook and you're initially coming to them and they're responding to you and they're like, hey, I have 2 kids, been married for a year and everything. Wow, that's awesome. Congrats on your 1-year anniversary. Kids are amazing. Build with them first. Then, like, if they ask you a question like, well, how much is it? Build with them first. Then you're going to start into the conversation of what the whole price is or what their question was. And then you revert to asking them a question again. Using the yes, yes, getting the yes, yes immediately. I will talk about more of this here. Asking them questions. If they say, hey, I want to lose 60 pounds. Great, so you want to lose weight. Great, so you want to gain energy. You're creating that yes, yes. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Be sympathetic with other person's ideas and desires. I'm going to throw these out here because this is going to cut off. I wish I had more time, and thank you guys for coming. I can hit these in a side note if you would like, and literally get How to Win Friends and Influence People, because I barely hit on anything that book hit. And when you can master people, you're going to master your business. You're going to master life. I hope you guys all have an amazing night. Thanks for coming. I'm so sorry that that went like that.